So production design is like the big thing. And then under production design, there's department. So there's set, there's costume, there's makeup, and there's even lighting.
What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Very first time ko din talagang mag-invite from the same school, CSA and Benilde. Actually just chatted her on TikTok about this. And I know that she was from the same school, pero from the same org pala kami. So what a bad senior, right? Hindi ko siya naalala. Anyway, please introduce yourself.
Hi.
Hello.
Siya yun. Hi, my name is Louisa Cadalingan. I went to CSA with ate. But she didn't remember me because she's popular kasi.
Oy, wow!
I'm 119, so I'm third year at the Salle College of St. Benilde, and I took up AV production design.
Kasi guys, introvert talaga ako dati. Hindi ako nagsasalita. Right? Kahit sabihin pa nung prof namin, sobrang mahihain ako dati. Welcome to the vlog, and I'm very happy to have a designer in part of my vlog kasi I've been talking about design and arts, pero I usually am the talking head, and I just feel like there's a need for me to invite other designers kasi, konti na lang yung knowledge ko about multimedia arts, and I want to expand. The first question I want to ask you is, why production design as a course?
Thank you for that very wonderful question, ate. I chose prod because I'm an only child. So I grew up just watching TV shows and movies. I really wanted to be backstage and, influence also younger generations. Also, in CSA, I don't know if you remember this org, Datos.
Yes.
Scholarship organization. I was aesthetics head for, and I think in grade 10. And then they made me do the set design of Lux Nova. And I felt like that was my set design awakening. It was so fun.
So enjoy it talaga ever since high school.
Yeah, but it wasn't like I want to do this for the rest of my life moment. It was just like, this is so fun. I want to learn more.
So what was the turning point of choosing production design as a course, and parang nasabi mo na sa sarili mo na, this is what I want to do?
I actually transferred from CSA to DLSU for STEM because my parents said, you're gonna take nursing or engineering, diba? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take nursing or engineering. Of course I'm gonna do that. And then I couldn't understand how to limit the equation. I had to get a tutor for the first time in my life because I didn't understand how. I realized that I wasn't meant for math or science. My parents didn't want me to take arts. Like, they really didn't want me. What I did, I talked about this in my TikTok. I hope my parents don't find that. But I went to Benilde, and then I asked how to apply for scholarship po. And then they gave me a form, and then I applied. And then your parents had to sign the form. I gave it to mom, and I was like, don't read it now. It's just memo. She signed it. I passed it to the.
So hindi niya talaga binasa.
Oh, I was like, mom, just sign it.
Grabe guys. So tip pala yun sa mga nanonood. Well, don't do that, guys.
Don't do that.
Okay, so that was School of Design and Arts SDA scholarship.
Yeah.
When people talk about prod design, yun kahit ako, ang naiisip ko lang, it's just, in terms of theater, it's what the stage looks like. In terms of film, like the setup, kung ano yung props na gagamitin. But when I saw TikTok videos about what you do, it's much more than that. Ang dami pala, ang daming aesthetics, even makeup is part of it. So could you tell me about the course and what you guys really do?
When I went into Benilde, I thought that it was just stage design. and I saw my course offerings, and it said costume, it says prosthetics, it says like stage effects. I was like, this is not what I signed up for. This term is when I really felt it, because my last 3 terms, it was really focused on set. So in the next 3 terms, it will be focused on costume, on makeup, and on props. So that's what production design really is. So production design is like the big thing. And then under production design, there's department. So there's set, there's costume, there's makeup, and there's even lighting.
Your makeup and all the equipment you have, you guys have to buy your own stuff.
Now in the pandemic, yeah, before though we could share. And then we had this place in Benilde, the scene shop. Have you been there? The scene
Yeah,
shop.
I think I know that place. Yeah.
Yeah. Parang warehouse na hindi.
Yeah.
The tools are all there, the heat gun, yung mga lagare stuff, the tools, which is really the most expensive part of, making
Yes.
stuff. You could borrow, but then now you can't.
This is a very technical and hands-on course, no? So, how is it during the online class? Kasi ang hirap, if it's in school, you can borrow equipment, tapos ipapacheck mo sa teacher mo, it's easy. And if they have to like teach you something, mas madali, kitang-kita mo talaga. Paano yung online?
This problem was more of my professor's problem than the students, because like, how do you teach how do you teach how to sew? You're like, Zoom, it was so hard. How one of my professors did it for my makeup class. So my prof was Miss Ara Fernando. She every week she demo a makeup look, and like step by step, like demo talaga in class. And then we'd ask her questions or she'd just do it. And then she'd upload the video recording of how she did her makeup. And every week we have to follow her makeup tutorial or get the basics from her tutorial and then make it our own or better. So it was just like weekly practice that made us be better at makeup. And the same thing for our other professors. They'd demo it in class and then we'd follow after. And then if we have questions, they're always available online. So it's more hassle for them than for us.
So what would be yung mga tips mo for people who are taking online classes, especially in art? Kasi ang hirap.
I like time management. It's really about discipline. I think
That's true.
the hardest part of any plate or any project is always starting it. Because when you start it,
So that's actually really true and important, time management. And even after graduation, time management is the key, guys, to work-life balance. I saw your project there at the back. So what would you say is your favorite project as of now?
my favorite project, definitely blood, sweat, and tears talaga.
Gano'ng katagal mo siyang ginawa?
I made the design last term, and then we created the costume all term this term, but the main grind of the costume was like 19 days because that was the Holy Week break. So we had to do the costume over Holy Week. I told my profs na mababawasan sila ng ligtas points kasi ganun sila. When you see it after, during parang you just want to eat yourself. Pero after, it was really fun seeing the finished look. This costume actually, we had a choice to have a model for it. Pero like, hindi ako makakalabas ng bahay. And I don't really like inviting people to the house because I'm scared of COVID. So I had to be the model. It was so hard. I had to do it. I had to photo shoot. I had to model. Yeah.
Wala kayong
and we had
mga
to do this again.
partners? Ganon, like,
No. Everything's individual work because now when you go in the industry, you're gonna be a production designer. It's gonna be, if it's like, you have to be alone.
Grabe. What would be your, nakalimutan ko ng tawag doon. Yung sa end defense thesis. How is your thesis for production design?
No, face-to-face, I know it used to be different. But now, my upper, yung 118, their thesis is like, you had to make costumes. I think three costumes. And then a scale model of their thing. And then the production that they're gonna do it for, it's up to them. Like that, but times 3. And then a miniature set design. Pero feel ko, I'm gonna have my thesis face-to-face na because they're opening school again.
So, kailan kayo papasok? May plans na ba?
Yeah, but it's weird. I'm going to have face-to-face May 25. Tapos 2-week break. And then 1 day ulit. It's like once every 2 weeks yung face-to-face.
Wow.
And then it's just one class.
I think they're slowly trying to bring
Yeah.
back the old normal. The old normal.
When you go inside the building, you're not allowed to leave na. Tapos you have to bring your own baon kasi walang
Walang
canteen.
canteen.
Yeah. And then, sa scene shop, may parang chessboard. Tapos divided into boxes. You can't leave your box.
But at least, there's something to do for face-to-face. Kasi some people or some courses talaga, it's better off doing face-to-face. Especially if it's a hands-on course. I
Yeah.
was also thinking, paano yung kunwari film or photo, especially when taking photos or kailangan ng green screen na room. Wala na, hindi na nila na-maximize yung school for all the equipment and lab. What else are you looking forward to sa course?
More on film to understand how things look like on camera. Like how to change lighting for camera or how this fabric would look like if it was in camera.
So wow, even how the light or the color will change when the light touches the fabric, no? Pinag-aaralan nyo.
Yeah.
Grabe. Yeah. Sobrang cool doon kasi in multimedia arts, diba, we tackle a lot of things. Tapos sobrang crash course about everything. We don't tackle the details of that anymore. What I wanted to ask because of that thought, paano malalaman if you should go into prod design? Kasi a lot of people also ask me kung ano yung best course for them. They're confused, like, is it MMA? Is it film, photo? For prod design, what should be that decision point na ay kailangan ito yung course talaga for me?
I have a lot of classmates actually na they didn't want to take prod. It was their backup course to get into Benilde, and then when they get in it, they're gonna shift. But a lot of them didn't shift because it was a fun course. Like there's so many career opportunities after. So it felt like a course that chooses you more than you choose the course. But then not really drawing, the visualization skills. When you read something, a script, you have to have like a visual concept in your head. Because maybe you could ask someone to draw it for you, but you just have to have the visual concept in your head. Also, maybe if you have a liking to makeup, to fashion, and then to building things, and I think prod would be the course.
So guys, ayan, if you want to take a production design, yan yung mga tips and questions you have to ask yourself before choosing a course. Kasi importante talaga ang pagpiling ng course. What do you think is the purpose or the main goal of a production designer? And how do you fulfill that?
Wow. It's like when you go to school and then you have to dress up, you have to look nice. Or like when you study, you have to go to a library, or you can't study on your bed, or you have to study in a coffee shop for the vibes. It's like that. When you translate that into film or into theater, it's like Robert Pattinson in Batman in casual attire. It's like, no, you wouldn't watch that. Or like when you watch Game of Thrones and it's set in modern era, it's like, no, you wouldn't watch that. So as production designers, you fulfill your goal by creating like visual cues that push the story forward.
Ganda nun. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, thank you.
But costumes and props, they really do say a lot. Lighting, when you change one aspect, it like the mood will change depending on the lighting, the color of the fashion, the outfit. It will really change. It's different even the color grading. So, pinag-aaralan talaga lahat ng bagay na yan. Ano yung possible opportunities after graduation? Like work?
Tiga-timplan. Charot! No! We don't do that here anymore. Possible opportunities. It's not just film and theater, actually. You could go into ads, you could go into event planning. You could apply anywhere if they need like someone creative in photo shoots.
Naisip ko yun nga, events like the backdrops they have for photo shoots also. So that's about production design. You were talking about like Hollywood kanina and like read the costumes and all that. So what can you say? Or do you watch Filipino films or teleseries?
Yeah.
So I want to ask, like, what's your take on it? How do you see the Philippine film industry and its production design?
Most of my profs, a requirement to be parang a Benilde prof is to be a practitioner. So I have a lot of profs that are practicing in the industry right now. I had the prof na, I think, production designer ng Dead Kids. If if you know that movie on Netflix.
Mhm.
And then it's a really small group, actually. Everyone knows everyone in the production design world in the Philippines. And I feel like they deserve a lot more recognition from like the work that they put in.
Actually, loving local is a thing right now, and they're upping their game when it comes to film and the entertainment. A lot of shows are now on Netflix or even in other online platforms, diba? How has being a production designer changed you as a person? Like growth mo naman.
Growth.
Yeah, as a
At
person, personally.
in high school, ate, I didn't talk to you in Sinabathala because I was so shy.
We're both shy, kaya hindi kami nag-uusap, guys. So, introvert and
Because
introvert, they won't talk.
I will vibe with you in silence. More outspoken about my art and my ideas because you can't just stay quiet. No one in meetings, you're like, you're gonna nod your head. You can't do that anymore. So you have to start talking to people, and it's hard.
Yes. Relate.
Also, I think it made me more open-minded as a person. I have the hands aren't there. But the costume that I made, it's actually from apparently a study on Hedwig and the Angry Inch. It's a story about this struggling rock star after parang heartbreaks, and they had like a botched sex reassignment surgery. So it's about gender crisis. And I'm like a cis-straight woman. So it was hard to understand this gender crisis from this character's perspective. So I really had to open my mind and ask people and research how this character feels to create a costume that could give Hedwig, that's the character's name, justice.
And speaking of art school, look, it's really expensive, right? So, what can you say to those aspiring artists na parang nawawalan sila ng pag-asa? Like, they feel like it's only for those people na may kaya, na mayaman, kaya nilang bayaran yung tuition and bumili ng equipment. So, what can you say about that?
My parents then they thought, mahal naman na pinili mong course. When you go into college, in any course, you have to spend something. You always have to pay something for equipment or anything, especially for med school. My gosh. And so you have to do stuff to curb your expenses. So what I did, I applied for scholarship, and it really helped, especially in the pandemic when my parents' business got hit. Ganon, at least they're not paying for my tuition fee anymore. It's really about mindset and doing something. Also, like, I have friends who feel guilty about asking their parents for money. I mean, kaya naman nila. It's just, it hurts, di ba? When you're like, can I have 1K for fabric? Ang mahal naman ng fabric mo, te, bakit 1K? But it's really like that in the market. It's okay to feel guilty about it. Just show to your family or show to your friends after you graduate na hindi sayang yung pinag-aralan mo. And you become a bigger person and more successful one day after you graduate.
It's really important that if you want something, you're gonna make a way. You can't just sit down, right? That's one learning point also. Sa Benilde, parang 50%, I don't know the percentage, pero ang daming scholars. So,
yeah.
Kung gusto mo talaga, there's a way. Before we end, what advice would you give to incoming college students in the field of art?
Because this is what I told myself when going into CSB. It's always shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, at least you will land amongst the stars. So I always dream big. I always told myself, I'm going to be national artist one day. Because even if I don't become national artist, at least I'll have like artworks. Na maybe pang national artist levels.
Yes. Where can people find you or see your works?
You can find me on TikTok. And you can also find me on my Instagram. It's linked naman to my TikTok, so you can just tap the button. And
What's
it'll
your
be there.
username?
Luwan Ray. Luwan because Louisa. So, Isa Luwan.
Yes.
And then ako yung politician. Luwan.
I'm gonna flash it somewhere here, guys, so that you can follow her on TikTok and IG. Thank you so much. I had fun talking about production design and another designer talking about just arts and all that. I learned a lot about production design kasi honestly, I don't know much about other courses in Benilde. And this enlightened me kung ano nga ba talagang ginagawa sa course na to. Thank you guys for tuning in with us until the very end. It's been a fun episode and ang dami kong natutunan. Thank you so much, Louisa. And don't forget to click the like button if you had fun. Of course, I feel like you guys had fun, I'm sure. And if you want to hear more about design, please click the red button down below and hit subscribe. And this has been your IcaKwentuhan Ica.
And IcaKwentuhan Luan. Thank you for having me.
See you guys next time. Bye!
Bye.